This holiday season, get ready to unwrap the most magnificent holiday homes with Homeworthy's 25 Days of Christmas. For the month of December, we'll take you inside the most heartwarming houses, decked out for the holidays in true festive fashion. From twinkling lights and elegantly trimmed trees to sparkling ornaments and cozy holiday charm, these homes capture the warmth, wonder, and beauty that make this season so special. So join us as Homeworthy celebrates 25 days of Christmas. The magic starts now.
Raise your glass. Cheers! Merry Christmas! Happy holidays!
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Cara. Welcome to my home here in New Jersey. I cannot wait to show you my holiday decor. Come on in. Hi, I'm Cara Brown. I'm a jewelry designer, and I want to welcome you back to my home here in Lambertville, New Jersey. It was built in 1724, and it's 300 years old this year. The beauty that was created in the early 1700s still lasts today, and we really just try to appreciate and be stewards over what we've been given while we've been here. I have been in this home almost 20 years, and I just have to say it's been a blessing for our family and friends who come and enjoy our setting. So here we are in the entryway, and this is the only spot in my whole home where it's tall enough to have a Christmas tree. That has always been a challenge because, of course, I love Christmas trees and there's only room for one. But I love doing something different every year, and this year the theme throughout the house has been eucalyptus. So we took the tree and we stuffed it with real eucalyptus. We faux finished some antlers, and we used real lemons and oranges and pineapples. I love using velvet ribbons and silk ribbons just to give it an old world Christmas feel, and then reflecting it again in the wrapped gifts. I don't usually use name tags. It makes it a little bit more of a surprise. So the names are on the bottom, and all the kids take turns finding each other's gifts, and it's just a fun morning on Christmas Day. They are in their 20s and they still run down the stairs to find their gifts from Santa. So the tree topper was a find. It's an old hand-carved angel from Italy, and I love using it every year. It's just a beautiful, I think it reflects the walls, and it just is a beautiful touch with not being too much at the top of the tree, but still making a statement. I ended up finding this Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, and this is from the Virginia Museum of Art. I have a great dealer, Joe Hanley, who found this for me, and it's just a treasure. As we go through the house today, I'll point out several treasures that I think are just fun, and my whole thing, I just think you keep your eyes open. So as we were choosing the colors for the tree and the just theme of the ribbons this year, we were looking around the home and we just decided that the persimmons and blues really popped. And so one of the inspirations was this old antique sign that I use in my home, and it's a little beat up like a lot of old things, but the beauty and just the things that it's seen and the just the age of it and the color just looked great here in this room, along with the painting by Ann Darby Parker. Everything, even though it's just a little bit different, it just pulls it all together with the colors that were chosen for this theme of our Christmas this year. I love decorating for Christmas in this jewel box of a home. when my brand actually began in the late 1990s, when I made Christmas ornaments with a good friend of mine out of antique jewelry. And Neiman Marcus ended up putting the ornaments in their top 20 stores. So every year I get to bring those pieces out and enjoy them around my home and just have memories of how it all began. I'm now a jewelry designer focusing on necklaces, but I do jackets and belts. But the origination of my creativity and along with a good friend began around Christmas ornaments, which you'll be able to see around my home today. Now you can see we're in the living room, and there were a few challenges because you can see the ceilings are way lower in here, so we had to be creative so that things didn't feel overwhelming when you walked in. We kept the coffee table a little more clear, but I did want to show you my ornaments. These are the ornaments that my friend and I hand beaded in the early 90s, and they start with a styrofoam ball, but there are about 1,500 to 3,000 beads on each of these pieces. They are all different. They're so fun. They're like my babies. They are more formal than most of the things in my home. So I just enjoy coming in and seeing them for Christmas. Sometimes people ask me if I should have kept them out year round, but I don't, because they're just really a special thing to bring out during this time of the year. And each one of these pieces took about 6 to 8 hours to make. So I'll have a little carpal tunnel from doing it, but it was all worth it. This is what the ornaments are what started me thinking about making necklaces. So I was cleaning out one August when my oldest left for college, and I was looking at the beauty of the old pieces made in the 30s and the 40s, and I realized that things today aren't made with the same quality. So I thought, why don't I make a necklace out of something old, but make it different than anyone else is making it today? So I took an old belt buckle that I had saved for one of these just in case I was going to make another, and I hand beaded it with blue beads from the 1950s, and I wore it, and that is the beginning of Cara Brown Designs necklaces today. Each one of these ornaments was just really a labor of love. Like I said, they're like my babies. So I love getting them out and enjoying them during the season. They're just a reminder of years gone by and time spent with friends making these special pieces. And I love being able to see the artisan work done in the early 1920s, 30s, and 40s on these pieces. So the piano during the year holds family photos, but with my team, with Jessica Malillo and the vision that we had, the peacock was in a different room, and we decided it just needed its moment in the sun. So we decided to use, again, the eucalyptus and my Christmas ornaments, and the peacock as the center. We brought in the greens, and then with the pop of orange, using the persimmon color on the tree and in the kitchen and here in the living room. It just all came together as this piano, enjoying like a new look for Christmas this year that I hadn't seen before, but it was such a fun thing to do, to just recreate things that I already had in a different way in this room. And this room is challenging because it is small, and as you can tell, I love to have my collections out and so for people to enjoy. But with that challenge, this keeping the presents here and under the tree, it just seemed to work and not feel overwhelming at the same time. So as you can see here on the mantle, we have the ornaments again, and we have fresh greens from our property as well as the eucalyptus. And this is a little more simplistic than the piano, which you just saw. So it's just kind of, it made the room work, the juxtaposition of abundance and a little more simplicity, but yet we still have the glistening of each ornament as just still the elevated look here in our living room. So in keeping with the ornaments, I made these Christmas trees really for myself. The ornaments were sold at boutiques in and around Texas, and of course Neiman Marcus put them around the country around 1996, 97, but the trees were just special, actually markers in my life. Actually, this one was made during a transition in my life when we were moving from Texas to New Jersey, and there's just something about creating and making something out of nothing. This was a styrofoam base, and then I took straight pins and antique jewelry and pearls to create this tree. I kind of felt a little out of control during my move, so this tree really came together as something that I could just control and make something beautiful when I felt a little chaotic. This one was just made during a Christmas one year when, I think there was a snowstorm, and I just wanted to use my time wisely. And then I have another over on the piano that I'd love to show you that I made similar to when I was making my necklaces. I had a lot of pieces left over after the business of making the Christmas ornaments transitioned. And so I decided to take the corals and the greens and browns and just make a tree that would just commemorate my time of the ornaments. Did I already have enough? Yes. Let me show you this. It has old buckles on it. It has brooches from the 1950s. This piece is probably from the 1920s. Each of these pins has 2 to 3 beads on it. So this was a labor of love. I would never sell it because it was so much time and energy that it took to create it. But I love bringing them out every year and enjoying them. The angel actually is a new find for me this year. She's from the 1920s and may have been used during the Olympics during that time, but I just think she is just glorious, and with the movement here on the coffee table, I just think it's such a precious piece, but a glorious piece at the same time to have as the center of the room, bringing all of the Christmas together. As you can see, I live in a home that has little rooms, and we are definitely not minimalists. We're maximalists here in this home. So I love to find corners that might surprise somebody when they see the holiday decor and Christmas decorations in different places. But I do have to say, I've had 2 wonderful women come and help me this year decorate and reimagine my pieces around the home. Carolyn Stevenson and Jessica Malillo have just been my angels during this holiday season to get my home ready for my children to come home and enjoy just a restful time after they're working hard around the country. Here we are in the dining room. I love setting the table. The table represents so much to our family. We laugh around the table, we talk around the table, we talk about our fears, we talk about our hopes and dreams, and I think that when you set the space for your family to relax and enjoy their time together, it just allows for everyone to just be themselves. And so here we are. I have this set for Christmas. Everybody has their name card so they know where their seed is, although they already know it anyway. This year, again, we used the eucalyptus, different varieties. In my swan, we used persimmons and fresh pomegranates. I did want to point out to you these beautiful long tapers that we used on the table. They're beeswax, they're handmade. Each one is a little different. They're not perfectly straight. And nothing in this house is perfectly straight. If you put something down on the countertop, it might be a little crooked. So I did love that these are very different. You don't normally see them on tables. They add height, they add texture, and I love that they're handmade. Even though we have these small, dark beams, and there's such beauty in them, the challenge is still to not make it feel like they're falling in on you as well. So we lightened the table with these beautiful hand-painted pumpkins by Carolyn Stevenson. And the swan, I just think, is kind of a different thing to use. It's an antique planter, but it was small enough to fit on the table, as well as hold the fruits and everything that we love for this decorating season. And then again, we have the velvet ribbons that we use just to kind of feel an opulence, but these are all very simple things that you can also do at home. Each of the tablescapes is very personal. We have each person's name and their hand calligraphied. The plates are antique Amari china. I'm going to show it to you. We've had these, my husband and I found these at an antique store early in our marriage, and we just love, we use them every year for Christmas. It's a little bit different than Christmas china, but with the colors of the oranges and blues, it's just kind of a timeless look. These plates would be nothing without the food. So one of our Christmas traditions is a green chili and rice casserole. We have that with like a tenderloin, but that sounds probably kind of weird to most people. The green chili and the rice casserole is a nod to our Texas heritage. It's a little bit spicy and a lot of sour cream and salt and pepper and grated cheese, but it is just something that is a simple dish that we just enjoy and our family looks forward to on Christmas morning. The china from the table came from this sideboard. We usually house it here during the year, but we took from the color of the china and used fresh persimmons to just bring nature as well to the Christmas decor. In all of the different spaces, you'll see the natural piece along with my old things. So I love the creativity of mixing the textures again and the colors. We also took the pine cones from around the property and spray painted them just to bring in the gold color. But I'd love to walk you over here and show you some more in the dining room. Here again, we have just a little sprig of the eucalyptus as well as the bells. But again, the same theme is carried throughout with the persimmon colored wrapping paper again and the silk ribbons. Our Statue of Liberty here, which kind of is an ode to the angel in the living room, as well as using the fresh garland here on the mantle. Just so that no one is concerned, this is not a currently working fireplace. It is a space in our home that we love and we don't want to change it. Someday we'd like to make it a working fireplace, but as of right now, it has not been touched since 1724. So it will be a project that is needed, but not to worry. These gifts will not be burned. This is a beautiful way just to use the space and allow for holiday Christmas decor to be carried over into our dining room. So throughout the whole house, we punctuated all of the eucalyptus and natural fruit and everything with punches of gold. I use gold in my jewelry. It's probably my favorite. I love a mixed metal look though as well, but here I found these gold carved wings that are, angel's wings, but also just, I love Narnia. I'm kind of a fan of the series. So this is here year round, but we did add the wings just to add a pop of gold to this room, that when the light hits it from the entry, it allows this door to be seen where you might not have seen it otherwise. It just adds that like wow factor to the door. I love that I get to decorate and live here in New Jersey with so many creative people around me. For example, the Evergreen Christmas Tree Farm has an amazing place where people can go and cut your own Christmas tree and take it home and have something fresh in your home. Maranatha Farm has amazing products, and it's a permaculture, sustainable farm. You'll be able to see beautiful products in my kitchen that I use. Their honeys and their teas. There's nothing like it out there. There's a beautiful cake in my kitchen by Factory Girl Bakes, and she is just an artisan using her own cut flowers and things out of her garden to make beautiful cakes for people in our area. And I just feel so blessed to have these people around me. And now my children can come home and enjoy just rest here in my home during a busy season. Here we are in the kitchen, and I'm so excited to share with you all the artisans that have generously provided their baked goods and honeys and teas, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. I'd love to start here. First of all, Maranatha Farm it's a farm here in New Jersey. I talked about it earlier, but it's a sustainable farm where they're teaching people how to farm through permaculture in a sustainable way. So let's talk about this. They make these amazing shortbreads and gluten-free muffins, which are hard to find. My daughter is gluten-free, and gluten-free, really good products are few and far between. There's a lot of them out there, but the really tasty ones are harder to find. Again, we use the persimmons and plums and dried fruits and fresh fruits. I want to show you this beautiful bundle that Maranatha Farm, they sell this on the farm. These are dried garlics and lavender that they make and sell at their farm stand. They do honeys. We have their handmade sourdough crackers. Again, we just added some dates and fresh pomegranates to our mixture, as well as the fresh eggs. And again, who doesn't love an amazing cup of tea on a cold day? I love their teas that they make. The packaging is beautiful, but the tea is the best tea I think I've ever had. And tea wouldn't be, I don't like tea without honey. So again, this is just a wonderful farm. I just think everyone should follow along with them. But here, these are just choices we have here on the countertop, but I want you to come over here and see the table. In keeping with our old world theme, my house is 300 years old. We decided to take a beautiful cake and cover it with just an old world opulent look. A great bakery in New Hope, Pennsylvania, right over the river from me. She made this, and I'm actually speechless. We ended up taking some velvet ribbon, and Carolyn Stevenson hand painted these for the backs of the chairs, just to add something just a little different that you might not see. Each child has their own scene for their chair. Now there's a lot going on here, I know, but when you look at just the textures, when you're putting together your Christmas table, I really encourage everyone to use something natural. You can use your baked goods and then bring in a little bit of outdoors, because it just makes it so much more interesting in your decorating space. We took the chandelier, and again, as we used throughout the entire house, the eucalyptus, and then a little bit, this is some fresh greens from right outside in my garden. And then these are hand-painted Hungarian eggs with Christmas scenes on it. There's angels, and some are just, floral, but we just decided to, a nod to the eggs that we have over on the counter, that we would hang these just for their lightweight beauty and a little bit of interest. Again, we used the velvet ribbons, and when you just see the ribbons running through the whole thing, it brings it all together. I have a product that I make called a life jacket, and on those pieces there's a lot going on. But one thing that we do with the hand embroidery is keep it all the same, and it brings the piece together. So that's the same concept here with the velvet ribbon running through all this kind of craziness. Like, the ribbon helps bring the whole thing together. So on our table, we have here our take on a croquet bush. We assembled this by hand. I was putting toothpicks in, had to go get a, something to guard my fingers. It was hurting so a little bit. So we built this tower, and we actually decided we were going to do 2 of them. So we have the other one over here, but we ran out of materials. So there are no accidents in creativity. You just have to go with the flow and just have to pivot. There's a lot of pivoting that happens when you're a creative. So here we go. We built it up from the bottom, and then what were we going to do for the top? We went outside and found some fresh greens and wrapped a little bit of wired ribbon around the top, and then just used pine cones to take the same texture from here up top, and then we put a little pine cone around the bottom to just bring it all together. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I love the joy, I love the peace, I love the patience and kindness that we see in everyday people, and I'm just thankful that we are able to rest and enjoy family during this precious time of year. We're outside now, and I'd love to show you the garland. We cut greens and used fresh magnolia from a tree. Carolyn Stevenson so generously went to her sister's house and trimmed the magnolia tree so that we could have fresh magnolia local to New Jersey here at the front on our garland. These huge pine cones were brought home from the Northern California area, and we used actually, if you will, a faux garland, but we added to it to make something so beautiful that you can't tell that it's faux, and it will last for the whole season. I could keep it up all winter if I wanted to, but it just, I tend to use cedar garland, and this is the best cedar garland I have ever found. The piece over the door is actually a garage sale find. It's a mid-century modern, probably wall piece, but we ended up using it, tacking it up at the top, and then sticking the fresh garland, the fresh evergreens, and the magnolia, and the orange branches all around it, just to create something different that you're just not used to seeing anywhere during the holidays. I love using bells. I think bells just create an old world feel. And there's just something about having garland around the door that just envelops the space. It makes it feel welcoming, and it makes it just feel so cozy, especially in this old farmhouse. These pine cone trees were a treasure that I found at another garage sale. I always have to stop. I can't help myself. But I've had these for a few years, and there's just something, the time that it took to take these pine cones, put them in this form, and paint each one. I had to bring these home with me, and I have a pair. Again, we have the persimmon colored paper for the presents, and then I love using just a pop of color outside with this antique Asian vase, and it's a treasure. But if you can't use the treasures you have around your home and in and outside, then what are they for? So I love bringing them from the outside inside out. I just feel like there are no rules when it comes to using the things that you have. You should use them. I'd love to walk over here and show you a funny thing. These Osage, these are things that we find around New Jersey. They fall from an Osage orange tree. And I posted about it on Instagram, and a lot of people laughed because they run over them on the side of the road. But they are so beautiful, and I love the chartreuse color just around in groupings. And anyone can go and find them around the roads, but when you put them together in your pots and put fresh greens in with them, it just gives them a new look and a beauty for your outdoors, indoors. We've used them all over the property this year for Christmas decorating. I want to show you this one-horse sleigh from the 1800s. We bought this sleigh from a family moving to New York City, and a friend of mine called me and said, "Do you want a one-horse sleigh?" And I said, "No, I really don't." And she said, "Well, they're moving to New York City and they've invested quite a bit in the sleigh, but if you want to make an offer, that would be great." And I was like, I have so many things, I really appreciate it, but no, I don't want a one-horse sleigh. And she said, "Well, they keep coming down. They need a buyer and they don't have one. Would you like to buy one?" And it was my husband actually who said, "Yeah, we need a one-horse sleigh. Our house was built in the 1700s. Why not have a one-horse sleigh from the 1800s?" So we made an offer. They accepted. I bought it sight unseen, and it was delivered the next day. There's so many fun Christmas tree farms around New Jersey. I got mine from a place called Evergreen Christmas Tree Farm in North New Jersey, and it's such a great thing. I don't know if anyone's ever done it before, but you can go chop your own tree, choose your own tree, bring it home, and it lasts for the whole season. It's not like buying it at a big box store. You get to have something that is local and supporting local farmers, as well as having something beautiful that's fresh and enjoyable for the whole season. And I love being able to decorate outside with a Christmas tree, with the tapestry that grounds the sleigh, the fresh evergreens from the yard. We made wreaths for the dogs' necks. The dogs are terracotta British pieces from around 1860. It's just a beautiful entry for my kids to come home and really just feel the magic of the holidays. So I'd love to go show you my studio now. It's a great little spot for me and somewhere where I get to spend a lot of time, and we did some decorating there, so it'd be fun for you to get to see it. Come follow me. Here we are in the studio. This is my little special space where I bring clients to look at jewelry, and we've decorated it for Christmas. Again, we have the eucalyptus and ribbon flowing throughout, the same candles that again are just one of a kind. They're not perfect. Nothing in this house is perfect anywhere. We, again, in order to have the Christmas feel in this light and airy space, we added some greens from the yard. And again, here with that bird hanging there is actually an antique sign. It was an old sign used for someone's business. So we just added the same. It's a theme throughout the whole decorating process. We used a lot of the same materials, but it looks different in every space because the lighting is different, colors look different with the lighting, and we always, I don't like anything to be perfect. So everything's just a little bit off center. And again, this is a small space. It's not big. So we had to just use a little bit of each material here in order for it to feel like we're celebrating the season, but not be overwhelming at the same time. Walls were hand painted. The pieces that I chose, I have some old things like the Staffordshire, but I don't mind throwing in a mid-century modern bronze statue of a woman, as well as a raffia pig in the corner. It's just a fun, funky spot for people to come and try on jewelry. I have mirrors around so that they can see pieces and how they look on themselves. But I also have, a French hen that was my mother's that, I love bringing family heirlooms into each spot in our home as well. And my studio is just an extension of all of that. My home, I would have to say, is my love language. Everything I have in my home, I love. And I am so grateful that when my children come home, I want this to be a place of rest. I want my family and friends to come and just feel peace and be able to laugh and eat and love and enjoy each other in just a setting where they feel like they can rest. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's time to go. I have to get ready for my children to come home for Christmas, but I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.